Okay, I have heard a lot of good things about this one. Okay, I've looked for Red Rising. They didn't have the rest in the series. It's fine, right?
I have been meaning to do another unhaul of books so desperately. I hate unhauling books, but it has to be done. Hi my loves, welcome back or welcome to my channel. Welcome if you guys are new. So I have kind of put myself on a self-inflicted book buying ban for the past few months. I did a bit of a haul at the very beginning of the year / end of last year. I felt like I needed a little break. I had a lot of books on my TBR to be read, and I like to keep my TBR to a minimum so that I don't feel too overwhelmed or anything like that. I also fortunately, like very, very luckily, get sent books by publishers. So I also like to leave room for those books so I can actually get to them and make sure I prioritize them. All of that to say, I have been on a little bit of a book buying ban. So I thought today was time. I also need a little bit of a pick-me-up. Okay, don't get me wrong, this is definitely a little bit selfish, but I thought today it might be time to go to the bookstore and do some book shopping. Later in this video, I do have a little book unhaul to go through as well, which is why I feel like we can add to my TBR. All the books I'm unhauling, I have read and just like didn't really love that much. So I feel like I can pass them on to a better home. And then, yeah, today we can start to top up our TBR a little bit. There are a few books I am on the lookout for. Now, don't get me wrong, we're not going crazy, okay? We're not gonna go like 15 books. We're not going crazy. I will have a book haul segment to this because I have gotten some like publisher mail that we can go through, and I'll go through whatever I buy today, but I'm not going in thinking I'm gonna buy a hell of a lot of books, okay? So on my kind of to be bought list, shall we say, I have In Her Defense. This is a Reese Witherspoon book club pick. It was actually on my TBR, or is on my TBR for March. So I would really love to get the physical copy for this one because the cover is actually just stunning. So I'm on the lookout for this one. I'm also on the lookout for The Poet Empress. This has just been one that I've been wanting to read for a long time now, and I feel like my TBR is finally to a point that I can get it and add it to my TBR. I would also love to get probably the second book in the Red Rising series. Now, you might be like, Freya, oh my God, I have started listening to the audiobook of Red Rising. I have read it, but it was a long time ago and I didn't love it. And I've heard that the series just gets better and better and better, and I'm seeing so many people be obsessed with especially phase 2 of this series. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna do a reread via audiobook, listening to Red Rising, and then I am going to read the second book in the series. So I will probably grab that one as well. I would love to get more books in like series I'm continuing, but I don't know that I have too many. We'll keep our eye out for that as well though. But yeah, we've got a few on our kind of bookish horizons. And yeah, this video as a whole is just gonna be some like all bookish stuff, refreshing my TBR, unhauling some books, having a book haul. I hope this will be fun. I hope we have fun book shopping together, and we're gonna go now because I need to go book shopping.
Okay, I've looked for Red Rising. They didn't have the rest in the series. They only had the first one and like some of the next, like phase 2, I think. I haven't found Poet Empress yet either. I'm currently looking in YA though. I was like, maybe it's here. Okay, I have heard a lot of good things about this one, but it sounds really funny on the back. Except why is a hardback $55? That's kind of confusing. I'm not gonna lie guys, they're not having a lot of the books I'm looking for. It's fine, right? Myself that this isn't the universe telling me this is why I'm on a book buying ban. Like, you need to actually be on one. I'm kidding. Okay, so far I have only found Just Friends by Hayley Pham, but like I think we're gonna get this one because I really want to read it. I want to support Hayley. I think it's really cool, but I can't find anything else. So maybe we'll make this like a little bit of a book crawl because I do really need to get The Poet Empress. So maybe we'll go to some different, like this is a little indie bookstore, so maybe that's why.
Okay, it's the next day. We have a stack of books to go through. I didn't buy all of these. I actually was like pretty good. I just got the books I needed, and then I've also got some book mail that I thought we could go through. So I went to this little indie bookstore near me, and I love them to bits. Like I really like them, but sometimes their selection is incredible and they always have what I need. Other times it's lacking a little bit, and today was one of those days. Like they had a few things, but not as much as I would have liked. So I actually only ended up getting Just Friends by Hayley Pham from them, which is good because I wanted it and I wasn't sure if it was going to be on shelves because it released a lot later for Australians, the 20 something, and I know it released on like the 2nd for a lot of people. So I wasn't expecting to see this one out of all the books that like I had on my TBR or my to buy list on the shelf. But anyway, I'm very nervous about this one. I'm excited but nervous, I think. Obviously I love Hayley Pham. She's a great content content creator, such a great booktuber. I've been watching her for such a long time, and I've been watching her along this journey, and I know she's been a writer for a long time, so I really wanted to support her and read it. Also, I've just been craving a cute little romance, especially while it's still a little bit warm here. Really want some romances to kind of lean into that. I feel like I haven't read that many romances this summer, so I'm excited to read this one. I know it's like a childhood friends type situation, but like it says a heartwarming and swoon-worthy romance about childhood friends reconnecting after years apart. Blair and Declan were inseparable growing up, best friends who knew each other better than anyone else, but when an impulsive kiss took them from friends to something more, everything changed. Just as quickly as their romance started, one moment shattered it all, leaving them with nothing but heartbreak and silence. 4 years later, Blair is back on their coastal town of Seabrook to support her mum and care for her great aunt Lottie. To make ends meet, Blair applies to work at a coffee shop, only to discover it's managed by none other than Declan, the boy she loved, the boy she lost, the boy who still makes her heart race. As Blair's path keeps crossing with Declan's, old wounds resurface, secrets are revealed, and sparks reignite. I mean, it sounds cute. From what I've heard, it's very like Emily Henry coded, like you can really see her influences of her favorite authors, so I'm excited to read it. I'm gonna make my own opinions on it, so yeah. So then we went to another bookstore that's also like kind of near me, and I really love this bookstore. I usually go to the other one first because it has better fantasy, so I was kind of expecting other books to be there, but I was like, you know what, we'll try this next one. And obviously the one book that I really wanted to get was The Poet Empress, and it has a different cover in Australia, so it's really hard to kind of like identify, and I wasn't seeing it anywhere in the store, and they didn't have it in stock. So then I went to the other one. I finally had The Poet Empress by Chantal in stock. Obviously this is completely influenced by Jamie. She's been begging me to read this one for the longest time. I don't even really know what it's about. I just know that it is, I think, a fantasy standalone and has a really unique magic system. So it says, to kill a monster, she must become one. As the emperor lays dying, the once great Azalea dynasty plunges towards civil war. While its princes plot for power, a more hidden war to become the next empress occupies the imperial court. Wei Yin, I don't know if I'm pronouncing this right, I'm really sorry, has already endured unimaginable suffering, ripped from her family as she has no title, no allies, and no escape, but she does have a secret. In the shadows of the palace, surrounded by enemies, she is learning a skill forbidden to women, because when words are weapons and poetry holds magic, yeah, the fate of a girl and a nation can both be rewritten. So like the magic lies in the words, like lies in poetry and everything like that. I think that's really cool. It's a cool cover. I think I prefer the other cover more, but like it's still very pretty. It's very cool. I'm excited to dive into this one. I'm very curious. The next one I got is actually on my TBR for the month, so I wanted to pick this one up and hopefully get to it. There's only like 2 weeks left of the month, but we'll hopefully get to it. This is a Reese Witherspoon pick, and it is called In Her Defense by Philippa Malika. The reason I picked this was because I got a prompt that led it to me, but I'm really interested in it now. It says, wealthy and famous Anna Finbal stands in court accusing therapist Jean Guest of brainwashing her daughter Mary to gain access to her trust fund. Jean claims that the dark memories she's helped Mary uncover are real, that therapy has offered her a chance, finally, to heal from childhood trauma, and she would be better off away from her family's damaging influence. I'll tell you now, you shouldn't believe either of them. I love court trials. I love following along with them and like starting to get little pieces and putting it together, and like you as the reader can kind of start to put the pieces of the puzzle together, if you will. I've also been getting into contemporary fiction a little bit more, so I feel like this is a good step outside my comfort zone. I don't usually purchase contemporary fictions because I'm not always sure if I'm gonna like them that much, and I'm like, do I want them on my shelf? But this cover, number one, was really cool, I thought. And then number two, I was like, I literally couldn't find it anywhere else. I was like, I could get it on my Kindle, but I may as well just get the physical version. So yeah, we got that one as well. So those are the books I purchased, which I'm very happy with. Not too much, but a good amount, I think. And then we have 3 books that I got sent this week, so I wanted to go through them as well. So this one is an ARC sent to me by Hachette, and it doesn't come out until October this year. So this is a very in advanced ARC. I will say straight away, this is the smallest font I have ever seen in my entire life. My eyes are gonna hurt reading this, so I'm gonna have to wear my glasses, but wish me luck. It is like blurbed by Stephanie Garber, which is really cool. It is called The Wretched Divine by Adeline Grace. The little blurb on the front, it's a really cool arc, like it's all sparkly. So the blurb says, Aurelia was born to serve, raised as a knight in a... Ooh, we've got a female knight! In a kingdom ravaged by demons, she's spent her life honoring her blade, driven by the memory of monsters who tore her family apart, and by the knowledge that she's one of the few who can stop them. If Aurelia can claim her first kill, she'll inherit a legacy passed down through Chanteloon bloodline, a soul bond with Urel, an angel whose power is vital to her kingdom's survival. But when those she loves begin turning into the very monsters she's sworn to destroy, Aurelia is forced to seek help from the last place she ever imagined. Desperate, she forges a second and far more dangerous bond with Severin, a demon she can hardly trust but who claims to know how to end the war for good. That sounds so fun! Oh, look, it's like reflecting on me. This sounds so good. I'm so excited. We've got angels and demons. I haven't read about angels and demons in a hot minute. I'm really excited for this one now. Yeah, it's definitely a longer book with really, really tiny font, but I haven't heard anything about it. So I'll definitely read this soon. I'll hopefully get to it before October so that I can give you my thoughts on it, let you know what I think. I love an angel fantasy, to be honest. Like, going back to my kind of core fantasies, like the Fallen series, I was obsessed with that. I love an angel demon fantasy. Okay, the next two books are actually by Andy Weir. So obviously Project Hail Mary came out recently and they kindly sent me like this PR book box and it had a few of Andy Weir's books that I haven't read before. So we have, first of all, The Martian. I have watched the film of this before I knew it was a book, okay? Otherwise I would have read the book. I was a lot younger though. I think Andy Weir's a great writer as well. So I actually would really like to read this one. Obviously, I'm sure we all know what The Martian's about, but Andy Weir's a sci-fi author, as we know. We're following a astronaut who's basically stranded on Mars. I really liked the story and I'd be really interested to read it. I think he just has such a humorous way of writing, so I'd really, really like to jump into this one. And then Artemis, I hadn't heard of before, because obviously this doesn't have an adaptation. It's very little though, and it sounds really, really interesting. So it says, welcome to Artemis, the first city on the moon, population 2,000, mostly tourists, some criminals. Jazz is one of the criminals. She lives in a poor area of Artemis and subsides her work as a porter with smuggling contraband onto the moon, but it's not enough. So when she's offered a chance to make a lot of money, she jumps at it. Now all she needs to do is plan the perfect crime in one of the most dangerous places in the universe and survive it. Sounds really cool. Female protagonist, which is really fun because obviously the other two books are like The Martian and obviously Project Hail Mary, both male protagonists. So a fun sci-fi with a female protagonist, which I don't think I've really read before. I'm excited to get into this. If you've read it, please let me know if it's good because I'd like to jump into it, to be honest. But yeah, those are all the books we got. We're gonna jump to my unhauling and I'm going to explain all that. I actually did it a few days ago, but we're going to put it in here. Okay, we've got quite a stack. I have been meaning to do another unhaul of books so desperately. I just think it's incredibly important to every once in a while just go through your bookshelf, go through books that you haven't reached for in a long time. I feel like what prompts an unhaul for me is if there's a lot of books on my shelf that I haven't reached for to recommend to you guys, books that I might not have thought about in a long time, just books that have been sitting on my shelf for like a hot minute that I haven't really thought of or recommended or anything to you guys. So this is definitely more brutal than I'm used to. I'm trying to be, I guess, just as like picky as I can with the books on my shelf because I really don't have a lot of room and I would love to get more books because I need like more books for my TBR, but I just don't have a lot of room. So I'm trying to be a little bit more brutal. The good thing is I have a friend that I can give a lot of these to, so it kind of makes it like a little bit nicer when they actually have another home that they're going to. This is in no particular order, but the first book is The Tenant. I was actually kindly sent this book and I read it and I actually did enjoy it, but I just feel like I never reach for like physical thriller books. I read all my thriller books on my Kindle pretty much. So this one just kind of feels like it's sitting on my bookshelf taking up space. I never recommend it to you guys. It's definitely one of my, like, I don't know, I guess least favorite Freida McFadden books. I do love Freida McFadden as an author, but this one, it felt a little bit icky to me. I'm not exactly sure what it was, but it wasn't my favorite by her. If you haven't heard of The Tenant, we are basically following Blake, who is fired from his kind of dream job. And unfortunately, he has just bought a house and he has a mortgage to pay off. He's living with his fiance and they do have a spare room. So they decide the best thing to do to kind of be able to pay off this mortgage is to rent that room out and get a roommate. And so they can pay rent and that'll help them kind of tie things over until Blake gets another job. It was good. I definitely didn't guess the plot twist, but yeah, just wasn't my favorite by her. And so I think we're going to give this to another home. I think my friend will really enjoy this one. The next book is People Watching by Hannah Bonham Young. I've only read one other book by Hannah Bonham Young and I loved it. That was Out on a Limb, but this one just, it didn't do it for me. This was very much like a friends with benefits type situation. Very, very spicy, but very little emotional connection I found between our main protagonists. I really didn't love this one. I know that some people love it, like they absolutely love it. But I feel like because I was thinking this was going to be similar almost to Out on a Limb, which is very emotional, very strong chemistry between the characters, this was very much like spice first and then chemistry follows, maybe, hopefully, if you know what I mean. We are following Prudence, who is helping her mother, because she's very, very sick. She's working in her family business and she lives in this very, very small town. She one day meets Milo, who is working at his family's farm next to her house, I believe. Milo is like a kind of traveler. He never really settles in a place for long. So the fact that he's back in this town is very odd. They're very, very different personalities, but they kind of strike up this deal to help each other out. I don't know. I just didn't find the chemistry between these two. I didn't love it. And I was really sad because I really was hoping to. And the cover is so cute. Like, are you kidding me? I hate unhauling books, but it has to be done. The next two, this is actually the first and third in a series. I didn't realize that that it was the third when I picked it up. But this is Holding the Reins and Riding the High. The reason I am getting rid of these ones, I've only read the first one, not the third one, is purely because they are so spicy. And I love a good cowboy romance now and then, but just not quite this intense for me. I like it when it's a little bit more like a closed door type situation, really great chemistry. I do love a cowboy romance setting, don't get me wrong. Like, I love the Chestnut Springs series. And if you like the Chestnut Springs series and don't mind a lot of spice, I feel like you'll really enjoy this one. For me, it was just a little bit too spicy, you know? I can deal with a few chapters, but once it's chapter on chapter on chapter, I'm like, I need a break. And from what I've heard, the series just keeps getting spicier as we go. So yeah, I kind of just feel like this one isn't for me. As I said, they're not bad books by any means. I just feel like it's a personal preference thing, personal taste thing. I'm very picky with my spice in books, and it just hasn't really stuck with me. Like, I haven't been itching to continue this series. So I actually feel like this is one I'm going to DNF, but it's seriously just a personal preference thing, not a like writing or anything. It's a really fun series. Okay, this one, I'm a little bit sad to get rid of these, but I have to be real with myself. This is the Knockmount series by Lucy Score. This is a small town romance series, and I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I actually enjoyed these when I read them, but I read these years ago. I'm talking like 3 years ago or something, whenever the last one came out. And look, I did enjoy it. I think they're fun small town romances. If you love a small town romance, I feel like you'll enjoy it. I just feel like my taste has really changed since I read these books and was obsessed with these books. I love all the tropes. Like, this one is Grumpy Sunshine. This one is like reverse. So the guy is like all golden retriever energy and she's very like black cat energy. And then this one is like childhood best friends / something happened in the past. I actually like these characters. I like this world. Again, if you love small town romances, I think it's really great. I just personally think these have been sitting on my bookshelf for a long time, and other people are going to enjoy them a lot more than me. I never reach for them. I never recommend them to you guys. I have other small town romances that I love more. I also feel like they were very lengthy books. Definitely could have been a little bit shorter. In the moment, I really loved them. But as I said, I feel like my taste as a reader is really developing, and that's not a bad thing. It's changing. I don't know whether it's a good change or a bad change, but I'm definitely more drawn to deeper love stories, more contemporary fiction, more high fantasy, everything like that. And I feel like when that happens, and it's been happening for a long time now, I just haven't really admitted it, but it comes a time when like these books, I'm not going to reach for them again. I'm not going to reread them. I know other people are going to enjoy them so much more than me, and rather than them sitting rotting on my shelf, I'd rather other people enjoy them because they're like in good condition. They're fine, and it's the entire series. The last book I actually am getting rid of is the Neverthorn. Neverthorn. I literally just read this book, but it just really wasn't for me. I won't talk about this one too much because I just read it, did a reading vlog, and then talked about it in my wrap up as well. But it just was not for me. I'm not going to be continuing this series. It's been sitting on my TBR for a long time, and I did finally get to it, which I'm really happy. I'm glad that I've like read all of these books that I'm on hauling. It's not just like I'm taking a chance and thinking I'm not going to like this book. Like, I've read them, I've decided my opinion on them. They weren't for me, and that's okay. I need to remind myself that that's okay. This is a big thing I'm doing, guys. Yeah, Neverthorn is I think YA academic setting fantasy. Not the worst book I've ever read by any means, just not for me. It was very cringy, very Zodiac Academy coded. Like, a fun time. I didn't hate my time reading this at all, but just not one I'm going to be continuing and not one I'm going to be recommending to you guys. There are definitely other academic YA settings that I'd recommend time and time again over this book. Again, a personal preference thing though. So I feel like these all just lie on like personal preferences. I can't help it. These aren't books that I hate by any means. They're just books that I'm not reaching towards, that I don't think I'll be reaching towards anytime soon. So trying to be a little bit brutal, but yeah, I feel like that's a good first cleanup. That's a good bunch for now. But with all that done, I think that brings us to the end of today's bookish kind of haul, book shopping, unhaul video. I hope you guys enjoyed. This was a super fun video for me to make. I feel like it's really important to unhaul, but also treat yourself to books now and then, especially if you're an avid reader and it's what makes you happy. So remember that. But yeah, thank you so much for watching today's video. I love you guys so much, and I will see you in my next video.